And yet another driving edition of Ham Radio 101. My name, again, is Mike, WX0MIK here. And let's talk about POTA. Parks on the Air. And that's probably one of the most popular activities in Ham Radio today. Sorry, I got washboardy roads here because our township has not graded this in probably well over a month again, and we're not happy about it. But I digress. So let's talk about Parks in the Air. So Parks in the Air is a very simple activity that you can do that is a lot of people enjoy. So what is it? Parks in the Air, you take your radio out into a park. More specifically, it's national parks and state parks, and you activate, in quotes, the park. Well, what is that? What does it entail to activate? You need to make 10 contacts with 10 people at your location, and then that is considered a activation. And the rules are extremely simple. Basically, you need to be in the park. It doesn't matter if you plug into shore power. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your vehicle. It doesn't matter if you hike 20 miles to get to that point. You just need to be physically within the boundary of a park. And then you make contacts on the radio. It has to be simplex. It cannot be through a repeater. That's against the rules. Other than that, if you can make 10 contacts via simplex on your HT, you have activated the park. And that's exchanging like signal report and call signs. And that's about all you need to exchange. Officially exchange. The key, but most people do HF. So HF is high frequency, and that are, I should say bigger radios, because some are kind of tiny too, but they are the ones that deal with the really long wires. So you can do it with 6 meters. Sometimes that is a 3 meter long antenna. I'm just going to, for simple math right now, I'm going to keep it meters. And for you Americans, at least for the purposes of discussion, think of it as a yard. So antenna from 6 meters or 3 meters long, which generally doesn't happen very often, but is possible, all the way up to more typical 10 meter, which is a 5 meter long antenna, assuming like a standard wire antenna, all the way up to, let's say, 160 meters or even beyond. 160 meters, that's 80 meter long antenna. That is 256 feet long, which you don't typically take to the park, but you could. There's no rule saying you can't. You're just probably not going to get many contacts on that band. But essentially, you're exchanging signal report. How well do I hear? How strong is your signal? And then they give you the same thing. You record that somewhere, and then that is a contact. Of course, you need their call sign as well. What else do you need? Technically, that is it. Now, you do have to submit these logs electronically, so you will have to enter them somewhere at some point to make them electronic so that they can be emailed in, or I think now you upload it to process the log files and make those processed completely. So yeah, that is Parks in the Air at the most basic. I have done videos doing Parks in the Air, so you can go back and look for a couple of those. But it's very simple setup. The most complicated thing is having a radio that's going to work for you, portable. You'll need some sort of a power. Like I said, if you can find a plug, you can take a power supply with you and plug in your radio to the power supply. Or most people do a battery. If you're really hard up, as long as it's a 12-volt battery, you can grab the one from your tractor if you have something like that, your vehicle. Just don't kill it if that's your only battery. something like that, or go out and buy a cheaper battery. In an ideal world, you get what's LiPo4 battery. I was blank on the manufacturer, the most popular one, but they're the lithium iron phosphate batteries. A lot of people like to use those because they're small, they're light, they're compact, and they hold a lot of power. And but they're also not necessarily cheap. So that's why I'm saying you could get something else if you need be. A wire antenna is usually good. Vertical antenna is usually good. If you like random wire, things like that, you're fine doing that. I found I have better luck with a resonant antenna of some sort. So it's fairly simplistic stuff, but you do have to have the equipment, and sometimes that's not exactly cheap. But it is a fun activity to do. You get outside, you enjoy a little nice weather. I haven't got out there as much as I want to for the last couple of years, but it's a blast. I enjoy doing it, especially when I get a big pile up. The pile up, if you're not sure, is when multiple people are all calling you at the same time, and you have to try and pick out just one of all out of the dozen that are calling you all at the same time, and then you just constantly are picking them away, and sometimes the pilot doesn't stop for half hour or more, and it's just a blast to work those pile-ups like that. So hopefully that helps with what is POTA. And to the person that posted a video, that I seen a video earlier today of talking about POTA, I hope this corrects what POTA is, because I don't think you're doing that. 7-3.